Hi, today I'm going to be making some peach cobbler. I'm going to start with this loaf pan and 1 stick of butter, which is the same as half a cup. I'm just going to unwrap it really quickly and put it in the pan. Alright, now we got to put it in the oven. Okay, now we're going to start making the batter. So, we're going to start with a cup of flour. It's just all-purpose flour. We're going to use a cup of it. That came out. Alright, so that's in there. And then, now that we're done with the flour, we're going to move on and do a cup of sugar. Alright, so that's all the sugar. Now, we're going to put in 2 teaspoons of baking powder, not soda, baking powder. Okay, so here's 1 teaspoon. And then the 2nd teaspoon. Great. So now, we're going to put in a pinch of salt. Next is 1 cup of milk. So let's grab that. It's just 1 cup, and it's just going straight into the batter. Okay, now we're going to stir it with just a fork. Nothing special, just a fork. Okay, the butter is completely melted now, and I'm just going to take a spoon and put the batter into the loaf pan. Kind of hard to hold it like this. Okay, so all the batter is in the loaf pan now. Okay, so now it's time for the peaches. We got these peaches from a produce stand, and they got their peaches from a farm in Georgia. So we took about 5 or 6 of those peaches, we peeled them and cut them up. We put them in a plastic bag with about 3/4 of a cup of sugar, and we froze it. And now we can just put it in the batter and bake it. I just like to mention that when you put the peaches in the loaf pan, you don't mix it up. You just put them on top, and they'll sink down to the bottom on their own when they're baking, so you don't have to worry about stirring it. Okay, so I'm just gonna scoop the peaches out little by little into the batter. making sure it gets all in the batter and not just in one spot, because then only about one person would get peaches in their peach cobbler. If you have fresh peaches and you don't want to freeze them, another thing you can do with your peaches is take about 2 cups, which is the same as 6 peaches, and mix them with about 3/4 of a cup of sugar and a tablespoon of lemon juice and bring it to a boil. And then you could just do the same thing, put it in your batter. If you do not have fresh peaches, you can also use just a 15-ounce can and put it straight in the batter and bake it. Alright, now we're going to put it all in the oven. I just like to mention that I have the oven preheated to 350, and you're supposed to keep the batter and everything in the oven for about 35 to 45 minutes, or until you can put the fork in there and it comes out clean. Alright, it's coming out of the oven. So, ooh, that looks so good. Okay, it's out of the oven now, and because we did use a loaf pan, it's deeper than a regular pan, so it took a lot longer to bake. It was in there for a little over an hour, but the original recipe says to use a pan more like this. It's just an 8x8 pan. So, let's taste it now. We used the loaf pan because it makes the corners more crispy, and we like that better. That was really good. Thanks everyone for liking my page. Have you ever had those really good triple chocolate cookies from Subway? Well, that's what I'm going to be making in my next video, so stay tuned. Thanks.